ask you a question about like your own life experience?
Yeah. So my history.
Yeah.
Sure. So I guess part of it is, when did you first know? Is that one thing you might have?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. So, of course, I didn't have terminology for it back then, but probably in kindergarten is when, going back, I think about when I probably started to have these kind of feelings. I knew that like my best friend, who was a guy, like I really liked him. I thought it was just like friendship, but like looking back, I think it was a crush. So it definitely was a crush back then. And then throughout elementary school, it's definitely sort of like here and there. It's just always like gravitated towards guys. But then when it was with girls, it was often just like friendships. We got along really well. And then over time, I think maybe later in Texas, definitely when I came here. So when I first moved here, definitely was developing more. And I think by the time we first knew each other, it was really starting to become something. And I just remember, this is a funny story. So I was searching certain things online. I'll just leave it at that. And
in high school?
No, middle school.
Okay.
School. And so I think what happened was like someone else saw the search. It was AOL, right? So like someone else in the family saw the search, and they were like, Ryan, were you searching this? Are you gay? I'm all like, no. So I wouldn't say really denial, but more just like I didn't want to accept it. So at the time, I wasn't ready. This was like age 14. So I still remember that, and I was just like, no, that's not me. I like girls, yeah. And so, and then throughout high school, it was definitely developing more, so especially as you knew me. And then over time, I think somewhere between sophomore and junior, I think internally I was definitely like, this is me. Just accept it. It's fine. And so junior year, I definitely didn't feel that much. And then senior year is when finally it was like becoming more and more. And I think definitely quarter 3 and 4. So actually, first people I came out to, actually,
I know them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you went to high school with them.
Yeah.
So I remember this. So it was at, do you remember Elizabeth Frank? Do you know Elizabeth Frank?
I know
kind
her.
of.
Yeah.
Okay. It was, this first time I told someone else, it was Elizabeth Frank's birthday party. And I remember, I took to the side, it was Mario Mastriano.
Yeah.
And Chris Will. And I was like, I need to talk to both of you. And I was like, Chris Will?
Sounds so familiar.
CTW? Anyway, so I remember I took them both to the side of the yard. And I was like so nervous because I was like, no, we're focused. And I'm like, I'm gay. And they're like, we know, dude. I was like, oh, okay. Cool. So it was fine. So that was like the first time I told people. And then I think it kind of trickled over. The third person was Sarah Westfall, if you knew who that was.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, blonde girl. And actually, 4 and 5 was Sarah Hatzel and Caitlin White. Yeah, so they're among the first people. And then from there, just like more and more. And then so college came around, and I still wasn't like fully out.
Or how did it feel to at least tell somebody?
It was scary, but then it felt good to finally not live with a secret.
Yeah, also I wanted to ask you, how did it feel to live all those years without coming out?
Yeah, it was definitely very straining. But thing is, as you know, I'm such a nerd, so straight A student and everything. So I had school as a distraction. So I feel like school was definitely falling into my academics, can be very like distracted.
Okay, yeah.
But definitely it was always something missing. So it definitely was stressful, and I think I was just I guess longing is a good way for it. Because I felt like as well, felt almost like delayed in development. Because it seems like everyone around me, was over time, I just like have the first dates, the first relationships, first kisses, first, so it's almost like a feeling of delay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's okay, good.
I'll continue after that.
No, good.
Play number 3. Where's that one going? So it's almost felt like a delay. That's the best way to put it. Wouldn't say lonely. That's a bit too dramatic. But definitely delay, because it just felt like everyone else was able to have their milestones in high school, whereas for me it was much later, which I can get into, which I'll get into. So college, my first year at college, it was hard, I guess, because I was away. But then I eventually met more gay people, because honestly, I really only knew one or two gay people. Like Victor Trussell was the one, right? In high school, it was really out, which I guess he couldn't help it. But but it's interesting over time who else has come out since. But that's their own story. But it's out there. But it's interesting who's come out after. Okay, so I'm going back to it. So college, I went to South Africa, which is actually where I got this shirt.
Cool.
Mozambique.
Nice.
So a really gay friend there, and I told him, and it was nice. And so then, sophomore year, second year, as we say at UVA, I finally kissed someone, this guy, and
You were like what, 20?
I was 20, yeah, 6 delay, right? But I realized as well, that's the beauty of it, is that we are. Oh yeah, I mean, I'll go into more detail
Sure.
about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was 20 where I had my first kiss. It's 2011, and then it was February, and so. Then, like that weekend, my sister and mother came to pick me up. It was around my sister's birthday, so I should have been more considerate. But I remember I had my kiss. I was like mentally preparing myself, because this is the big one, your family. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, gonna do this, gonna do this, gonna do this. So they picked me up, and we were at a Cheeseburger in Paradise, which is since now Outback Steakhouse in Charlotte.
Oh, okay.
So we sit down to eat for the first time. And I was like beaming. I was like, I have news. I'm like, what? You have a girlfriend? I'm like, nope, I kissed a guy. I'm gay. Waterworks. Absolute like devastation. And then the waiter comes over and is like, what can I get you to order?
Damn.
So I was bad at time. In retrospect, it was horrible. But I mean, I needed to do it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so tears, whatever. And then it was over and they're all like, you're going to tell your father. So context, my father watches Fox News, and he's extremely conservative.
Is your family religious?
I wouldn't say that. But he is a very conservative person, military guy. So, so the drive home for 2 hours was like the longest drive ever, like silence, and like... And then my mom at the time, I mean, she's extremely supportive now, by the way. My sister is 4 planes. Okay, so my mom. Okay, so she has come around since, but at the time she was crying. She's like, "You're gonna get AIDS. You're gonna die.
Damn.
They're gonna beat you up. You're gonna everything." I'm just like, "Oh." Okay, so we make it home. I'm like, "Dad, grab your favorite pug and let's go to the basement." So I got Hobie, rest in peace, love him. Brought him to the basement, and then I told him I'm gay. He's like, "Oh, I knew." So I went to bed that night thinking my dad was okay and my mom wasn't. Wake up next morning.
Is that what you expected, or was the opposite?
It was the opposite. So I thought my dad would be like angry or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So then it's just cut the tension with a knife. Unfortunately, I learned to respect my dad. Like, he's a runner, so he was running extra and like really stressed, wasn't sleeping much because of this. And I feel bad, but it also isn't my fault. That's his reaction.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So has he fully accepted it? No. But I was never kicked out, and I was never like left destitute or whatever, which is good. I'm very fortunate in that sense. But but every once in a while, yes, like here and there, he sort of like asks things, but ultimately he just isn't supportive, and I have learned to forgive and accept him because of it.
That's good.
I'll still like make fun of him, but and then now my mom, she loves, talks to me about all these things. She's like, oh, what about this drag queen? Oh, that and that. Rainbows, and my sister loves painting rainbow stuff, so they become really supportive.
Cool.
So that was really good, and then from there, it just didn't matter who else I came out to. So over time, it was, it's just easier each time.